Welcome to today's episode. I'm Christina, and today we revisit Fallon Fridley's story, a toddler, just 2 years old, whose life ended under deeply troubling circumstances in December of 2020. We walk through the timeline, the investigation, and what Kirsty Flood said in interviews, what evidence was discovered, and what the legal reckoning was. Listeners' discretion is advised. Fallon was a 2-year-old girl living in Sandy Springs, Georgia. She was described by her family as joyful, curious, and full of life. Her mum said Fallon was very tender-hearted. Fallon's babysitter, Kirsty Flood, had been a close family friend for years and was hired in 2020 as her full-time caregiver. Because of that friendship and history, there was trust. Fallon's mother believed that Kirsty was safe and reliable. That trust would later be deeply shaken. On that fateful day, Fallon was in Kirsty's apartment. Later, Flood reported that Fallon had had an accident at the playground. She said the toddler fell from a slide, hit her head, and then became unresponsive. That evening, paramedics were called. Fallon was taken to the hospital. Sadly, she did not recover. When police began investigating, inconsistencies emerged between Kirsty's statement and forensic findings. The examiner's report revealed injuries far beyond what would be consistent with a single fall from a playground equipment. Out of respect for her family, I won't share the specifics, but it is important to be clear. These were not the kind of injuries that should ever be seen on a little girl's body. They were devastating, and they tell a story of suffering that Fallon never should have known. A 2-year-old should only have skinned knees from learning to run, messy hair from playing outside, and the kind of laughter that fills a room. Instead, what investigators found was something no one should ever have to see, and something that will stay with her family forever. This part of the case reminds us of the true weight of what happened. It isn't just about the legal terms, charges, or sentences. It's about a child whose life was cut short in the most heartbreaking way imaginable. Authorities obtained a warrant for Kirsty's phone. They found disturbing internet searches, including things like what type of people enjoy hurting other people's children, and what does it mean to have a sudden urge to harm a child that isn't yours. In her interviews, Kirsty maintained that Fallon had a fall, hit her head, and then collapsed and became unresponsive. But investigators questioned how the physical evidence, extent of bruising, head trauma, and internal harm could have occurred after a fall. It is reported that there were previous incident reports involving Kirsty since August that year. The investigation rested heavily on more than just what Kirsty claimed. The findings didn't align with a simple accidental fall. The internet searches added weight to what investigators suspected about intent. The fact that Flood was a friend employed full-time and had multiple previous reports made the betrayal even greater. After the investigation and collection of evidence, many charges were brought. In plea deals, Flood admitted guilt. She got life without the possibility of release. Her boyfriend, who was present in the home, also got sentenced 15 years for his role. For Fallon's mum, the interviews and the investigation shattered the trust she had in someone she considered a friend. It was particularly painful to see the statements from Kirsty, the search history, and then the examiner's findings. For investigators and the legal system, this case highlights how important it is to compare statements with medical findings, to follow up on digital evidence, and to look at prior behavior or incident reports. From a community perspective, it raises tough questions about caregiver screening, warning signs, and what to do if a caregiver seems to minimize or deny concerns. Fallon Fridley's case is tragic, not just because of what happened, but because of how trust was broken, how evidence revealed a very different truth than what was first claimed. By understanding what was found in the interviews, what discrepancies existed, and how the legal system responded, we keep her memory alive, and hopefully help others to recognize warning signs sooner. As we close today's episode, I want us to take a moment to remember Fallon, not just as a part of a story, but as a little girl who was full of wonder, curiosity, and joy. 2 years old, with a smile that could light up a room, with tiny hands that held endless possibility. Her story is heartbreaking, but it is also a reminder of the fragility of trust and the responsibility we carry when caring for someone else's child. It reminds us to pay attention to the little signs, to speak up when something feels off, and to protect the ones who cannot speak for themselves. Fallon's life was far too short, but by sharing her story, by remembering her, we honor her. We carry forward a message of vigilance, compassion, and the hope that no other child will have to go through what she did. So as you go about your day, let Fallon's memory stay with you, not as a shadow of tragedy, but as a light, reminding us how precious every little life truly is. And let it inspire us all to act when we see someone in need, to trust our instincts, and to never let silence replace care. Because in the end, remembering Fallon is not just about what was lost. It's about the love she brought, the lives she touched, and the awareness she left behind. Thank you again for listening. And until next time, stay safe.